descriptive words there that are not necessarily the descriptors you would associate with Bill Belichick. Endearing, such a great communicator, and the one that I think people are going to, grab onto, the one that we have on the screen, very loyal. And by the way, I love Arians. I think he's an awesome coach. I think the way he has filled out his staff, understanding his responsibility to try to give a lot of people opportunities and to try to almost single-handedly help some of the NFL's diversity issues in coaching is incredibly commendable, and people seem to love him. So none of this is a shot at Bruce Arians. But I also think we can't be total prisoners of the moment and act like Bill Belichick's very calculated lack of loyalty to players isn't something that benefited Tom Brady immensely for 20 years. Belichick's cold and calculated approach helped Brady get to 9 Super Bowls, helped Brady win 6 of them. The first Super Bowl Tom Brady ever played in, he threw for 150 yards and his team scored 20 points. The last Super Bowl Tom Brady played in before this one, he threw for 250 yards, no touchdowns, a pick, and his team scored 13 points. And they won both of them. Those 2 directly because of Belichick's defense and the overall roster that Belichick put together. Now, Brady right now obviously has the bragging rights. They split up. He's thriving. Belichick's out of the playoffs. And I said on this show on Wednesday that all of a sudden it does seem like Belichick needs at least one more sustained playoff run, or else people are going to say, he's a great, great coach, maybe the greatest ever, but what'd he do without Tom? All that's fair. And I think all that is true. But what's also true is you don't win 6 Super Bowls and go to 9 without Belichick. That Belichick's ability to be emotionally detached from players was great for Tom. Now, nobody likes that when it applies to them, but that is a massive part of the Patriots' success. So I don't know that he's taking a direct shot at Belichick, and I don't blame him for, at this point in his career, wanting something different. But we're going to have the GOAT conversation over the next week, and assuming the Chiefs win, and I assume they will, we're going to really have it over the next 5, 10, 15 years. Mahomes and Brady. Deep down, what everyone acknowledges is, and we're going to talk more about this later in the show with Tony Romo's quote, there's not actually anything Tom Brady, from an eye test wise, is better at than Patrick Mahomes. The reason he's the GOAT and no one else is even in the discussion is because of the wins, because of the Super Bowl appearances, because of the conference championship appearances, because of the 6 rings. Belichick's lack of loyalty is a major, major factor that has led to Brady being Brady. So while maybe at the end he didn't love it, part of the reason Tom Brady is Tom Brady is because of that very trait that now you look back on not so fondly if you're Tom Brady, because you're the big teddy bear. You're with the cool uncle. What did he say himself? I want to be the cool uncle that shares a beer with you rather than the strict dad. That's great. I don't know if that works for a 20-plus year run of unprecedented success. Rick Bucher said one of the most fascinating things I've heard. Nick right in for Colin on the herd. Rick Bucher joins us in a shade under 30 minutes. Roman Reigns, how about that? I see it on the screen. Universal Champion of the WWE joins us in a couple hours, a little less than that, previewing some Royal Rumble. But right now, I want to ask you a question. Are Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill the best pass-catching duo in NFL history? Nick, you're a prisoner of the moment. Nick, you're a Chiefs homer. Nick, that is an outrageous question. Is it? So let's look at the best duos ever. let's go to the original. So this is what Hill and Kelsey have done post Tyreek Hill's rookie season. So over the last 4 years, over 11,000 yards, 86 touchdowns. Oh, yeah, won a Super Bowl and might win another one here in 9 days. So let's go to the original duo, Swan and Stallworth. Swan and Stallworth, I'm showing you their peak runs. 5-year peak. Obviously, Hill and Kelsey have the better record, the better numbers, but that's not fair because it was such a different era. I would argue that 8,800 yards and 77 touchdowns 40 years ago is actually more impressive than what Hill and Kelsey have done. So right now, you could argue Swan and Stallworth are ahead, but barely. All right, give me the next one. Harrison and Wayne. These guys were unreal individually, but their peaks only overlapped by really 4 seasons, 03 to 06. And you see in this, Hill and Kelsey got them nipped in yards. They have them nipped in touchdowns. They're tied in Super Bowls, but again, that could change in 9 days. All right, the one all of us go to, my former colleague and my friend Chris Carter, along with Randy Moss. That's the one I think everybody goes to, and they were elite together for 4 seasons. In 02, Chris went to go play for Miami. So they only played together for 4 years. Those touchdown numbers are off the charts. The yards, amazingly, Hill and Kelsey have them beat, obviously. Thanks to Gary Anderson, those guys never got to a Super Bowl. These guys are on their second one. And then the gold standard, because of production and longevity, are Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce. Those numbers are unbelievable, but that's over 8 years. And so when you look at it, if these guys win, and they're favored to do so, a week from Sunday, they both have iconic playoff moments already. In the Super Bowl last year, Tyreek made the biggest play. Kelsey scored the touchdown that got the comeback going. In the comeback, the 24-0 comeback against the Texans in the playoffs last year. I think Kelsey had 3 touchdowns in the second quarter alone. Tyreek is a singularly great player given what his skill set is. Kelsey is rewriting the tight end record books. If they stay together, and by the way, they're both under contract for the next few years, Tyreek for the next 3 years, and Kelsey for the next 5. They stay together with Mahomes as their quarterback, Andy Reid as their play caller. It is absolutely a legitimate question. Are they going to end up being the most prolific receiving duo of all time? And we used to always talk about triplets, quarterback, wide receiver, running back. In the modern NFL, is this not more what the triplets would look like? Quarterback, wide receiver, receiving tight end. And what you have with the Chiefs, and the perfect storm for it is, the best quarterback in the league, the best tight end in the league. And if you don't want to call Tyreek the best wide receiver in the league, You would certainly call him the most dynamic, the most dangerous receiver in the league. And those guys all coming together, it might end up being